Today I'm going to talk about how you can use typography to improve your handwriting. Hi, I'm Jenny Family-Arcano. I'm a designer and educator helping creative professionals like you organize ideas into work that flows. All of the letters that are part of our digital fonts today were all started from a writing tradition, and that's where italics have really contributed from. You see things in script and all these different types of calligraphy. And when I started practicing calligraphy in 2015, it really helped me understand looking at how writing can really change the way that we look at our language. Typography is actually language visualized. If you want to be able to communicate effectively, building proficiency in your handwriting can be really important. So we're going to talk about how to improve your handwriting using all these different typography basics and understandings that I've learned both as a calligrapher as well as an instructor for Typography 1. First and foremost, let's establish a goal. And your goal right now is not going to be whether or not your handwriting is going to look like copperplate calligraphy. If you want that to be the case, if that is your goal, then you should watch this video first, because I go through all of the different basic strokes on copperplate calligraphy. Aside from being a beautiful calligraphy experience, it can also just be done to transmit the information into your brain. And sometimes just writing something down can help you remember something better, especially if you're a kinesthetic learner. The information that you're starting to experience in addition to hearing it or seeing it. So handwriting is very personal. And my first tip, it would be just using a baseline. Now in typography, the baseline is where all of the letters sit in order for them to be aligned with each other. So this is called the baseline, and it's just at the very bottom of all the letters. And when you're using a baseline when you're writing, this does a couple things. This helps you maintain a level playing field for all your letters. The baseline also functions as a way to really understand where your vertical stems are in proportion to the baseline. So if you have very upright letters, they're going to look like perpendicular to your baseline. If you're going to have things that are slightly slanted, you have the baseline to keep you grounded and that you can maintain a consistent slant for all of them. You can use a variety of different types of baselines. You can use a grid. You can use a traditional aligned notebooks. You can use dotted if you want a little bit more freedom. There's also like, if you want to be a little bit more loose and just like go with the plain, you can put grids behind it and have a really like loose kind of baseline there. I also use a laser level device. It could also be very useful for people who just don't want to have a lined notebook. Like the reason for them would, like, you can be team lines, team grid, team dotted, but their function is the same for maintaining consistency in your writing. Do you already have a favorite type of page that you like to write in already? Let me know in the comments below what team you're repping in your notebook. When you're drawing a circle, how do you know that your circle is a circle? Is it because of the circle that you're drawing? And then how do you know it's a good looking circle? I'm looking at the camera lens and that's distracting me because it's a circle. If you're drawing a circle, you're not only looking at the circle that you're drawing, but you're also assessing the empty part of the circle. You can also look at the outside part of the circle just so that you know like what's in balance and what looks good. But those are really key things, and that is the spacing of your strokes. Being able to look at a circle and see that it is in balance, that's also something that is very evident in letter forms as well. You want to make sure that whenever you're drawing a letter, they're maintaining a very good balance with each other. When you look at a circle, you know that it's in balance because it's like got an even amount of white space all the way around it. And then a square, same thing. I guess a square isn't as good. Whenever you're looking at your letters and you're drawing your letters, you want to make sure that you're giving them enough white space for you to distinguish one stroke from another stroke. And that's not the only place that you need to be looking at. The area inside of the letters are considered the counter or the counter space. There's also other words for it, the negative space, but there's also different levels of spacing that you can pay attention to. There's also something called word space, and that's the space between your words, or like when you do a word and then you give it a space, you want to give that some space too. Also the leading, or if this is, how much space you have above and below. Are you filling up the whole line with your word? Are you giving it enough space? Are you going and skipping every other line so that there's more space? Even adding some margins around your words can really help with the clarity and just improving your handwriting in general. The more space that you give your letters, the more attention that they're given. That happens when you talk about typography. When you want to give something more importance, you want to bring more attention to it. And when you're using one tool like a pen, one of the ways that you can bring more attention to your type is by creating more space around it. Give it ample space, give it the space it needs to be the letter it wants to be, so you can distinguish one letter from another letter and it just looks clean and cohesive. So we talked about how you should make sure that there's enough space. We talked about the baseline and the parallel stems. When you're using a baseline, the baseline doesn't just function as a way for the letters to be sitting level. It's also functioning as a way for you to gauge how parallel your vertical stems are. The vertical stems are the letters that create the vertical part of the D, the B, anything like vertical. You want to make sure all of your stems are parallel with each other. They can be upright, they can be at an angle, but they always have to be parallel with each other, and maintaining a consistent vertical stroke will help you make very beautiful handwriting. So maintaining a consistent vertical rhythm is something that also contributes to the beauty of calligraphy as well as your handwriting. Go for it. Honestly, you can do it. I would recommend whenever you're writing to go slow. You don't need to rush. The slower you go, the more intentional you can be with every stroke, and the better each stroke will come. I found that I get really lost in my mark making when I start writing in calligraphy because I'm going really slow and I'm paying attention to every single stroke. And you can do that too, whether you're using calligraphy pen or even a normal pen. No worries on all of these different rules. If you just start implementing one, your handwriting is already gonna get so much better. If you need a reason to practice your handwriting, check out this video about a pocket notebook, and that way you can start utilizing your handwriting into something that can contribute to your creative career. I will see you in the next video.